In the top stories, Prime Minister Stuart says the St John Polyclinic will be completed in another 3 months. The Education Minister appeals to the BSTU to reverse a decision not to correct school-based assessments, and West Indies have a new head coach. Welcome to Nation News for Friday, March 20th, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
Prime Minister Stuart says the controversial St John Polyclinic should be completed by the end of June. The Polyclinic was started by the Democratic Labour Party in 1991, but the project languished from 1994 to 2008 when the Barbados Labour Party was in power. Residents have often expressed frustration at the length of time it has taken to build the facility. Speaking in the House of Assembly on Friday, Mr. Stuart said a June deadline was achievable based on the current state of completion. However, opposition MPs Edmund Hinkson and Kerry Simmons questioned this, charging that government has failed a number of announced completion deadlines. In other news from the House, Minister of Education Ronald Jones has asked the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union to reconsider its decision to boycott correcting school-based assessments unless its members are compensated. On Tuesday, BSTU President Mary Redmond said teachers across the region should be compensated by the Caribbean Examinations Council since SBAs were an added responsibility. However, Mr. Jones said teachers have been correcting SBAs for free for several years, and the union's decision puts students at a severe disadvantage. Director of the Fair Trading Commission, Peggy Griffith, says investment in consumer education is paying off. She told the media the watchdog agency for consumers was receiving fewer complaints as both businesses and consumers understand their rights and responsibilities. Ms. Griffith was speaking following a workshop for players in the construction industry. It was held because of the number of complaints the FTC receives about that sector. Family and friends and members of the education fraternity said farewell to educator Daphne Maxwell on Friday during a funeral service at the James Street Methodist Church. Ms. Maxwell, who died at age 91, taught at a number of schools across the island before serving for 20 years as principal of Eagle Hall Primary, making her that school's longest-serving principal. The Barbados Road Safety Association is taking its message to the schools as it works to reduce the number of accidents on the island's roads. Members paid a visit to Eden Lodge Nursery on Friday, and they shared a number of tips on pedestrian and passenger safety. BRSA spokesman Richard Cox spoke to Nation News.
As you may know, since the beginning of the millennium, more than 350 persons have lost their lives on the roads, including children. And we feel that this number is far too high. Serious injuries were something like 3,000 and almost 5,000 slightly injured persons on the roads. And we believe that to teach road safety, we must start at this age from the nursery schools and right up.
In sport, the West Indies Cricket Board has announced the appointment of Phil Simmons as the new head coach of the regional side. The 51-year-old, who played 26 tests and 143 one-day internationals for the West Indies, will have a 3-year contract.
It means a hell of a lot because it's something that I've always desired to do, as in to give back to West Indies cricket and to make sure that I help the cricket get back to where we had it when I played, because there's so much enjoyment around Caribbean people and people all over the world that you always want to see West Indies cricket up there. And for me to be able to give a helping hand in trying to get back to that level, it means a lot to me.
Well, as you know, Phil, fans in the Caribbean in particular expect a high level of success from the West Indies team. How deep is your resolve to return the side to the higher echelons of world cricket? Well,
my resolve is deep to do with anything that I put my hands to. I put everything. I'm very passionate about whatever I do, and it's been even more so in the coaching than when I played. And it's been shown with Ireland, and I'm just trying to make sure that I bring a lot of the things that I learned and put together in Ireland into the West Indies team.
Mr. Simmons' first task will be during the International Home Test Series against England next month. West Indies will take on New Zealand at 9 p.m. tonight in their Cricket World Cup quarter-final clash. New Zealand are heavy favourites, having finished the preliminary stages unbeaten, while West Indies won 3 matches and lost 3. Nonetheless, Captain Jason Holder says the team will be going out with all guns blazing. And finally, a Minnesota man who gave his neighbors some knives for Christmas has been charged with burglary after he allegedly stole them back. According to reports, Alfred Guercio went to his neighbor's front door and complained that she was not using the knives in the way they had agreed and he wanted them back. The neighbor said she'd get the knives but closed the door. The man reportedly put his foot in the doorway and pushed his way into the house before swiping the knife set. The woman called 911 and Mr. Guercio was arrested. And that's where we end Nation News for Friday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your papers over the weekend or subscribe to our e-paper. Thanks for joining us.